You are listening to Quality Time, a podcast designed to support Nebraskan providers through their journey with Step Up to Quality. I am your host, Colleen Schmidt. Get ready to listen as we prepare to elevate each other as we step up to quality. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we have invited a very special guest, Lauri Cimino. She is the director of Step Up to Quality. We've asked Lauri to join us on our podcast and share some moments of gratitude and speak a little bit about advocacy as well. So, okay, Lauri, first things first, let's gush. Let's do the gratitude part first. What do you want to say to our listeners? Why are you grateful for our early childhood providers here in Nebraska?
Wow, that's a big question, right? I love to talk to our providers and thank them for everything that they're doing every single day. One of the things that we've started to do is I get to call now those leaders, those family child care providers, those directors, once they get their information from Morgan with the result of their rating. And I have enjoyed that so much, just to be able to tell them thank you for all that they're doing for the children and families in their community, that they're making such a difference. And I know they know that, but it's wonderful for me to be able to have that connection with them. And we've grown so much. We're knocking on the door of 900 programs that, yeah. So, about half of our programs every single month. And we, on average, have 12 to 15 that are sending in their rating request, and about half of them are re-ratings. And so, we see them continuing to do the great work and continuing in the quality plan and making a difference every single day. So I am so incredibly thankful and grateful. And I mean, our state is going to be, the receiver of all that wonderful work that they're doing every single day. These kids are going to grow up and be really successful in school and in life. And that to me is huge.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me emotional, kind of.
I know. I love to hear you talk about it because you come straight from the heart with it. And that's why I wanted to ask you that question first, because I've heard you get emotional about it before. And I agree with you. I'm sure those phone calls are a little bit emotional.
They are. And sometimes they're short. I try to make sure when you look at what time of the day is this and where is everybody going to be? And is it rest time? Is it lunchtime? Is it parent pickup time and drop off time? And so I try, to choose a time that folks might be available. I don't always, but when I do connect with folks or call them back or they call me back, some of those calls last a long time.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful because it does make a difference. We all like to hear thank you for what you're doing. So yeah.
And I think too, even how you said, they know that they are making a difference, but sometimes just having that formal recognition and acknowledgement of I'm doing good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm really impacting children's lives in Nebraska.
Every single day, yeah.
Every single day. There's all sorts of research that supports quality care in birth through age 5 impacts children's learning outcomes for their entire lives.
We know that, yeah.
We know that to be true, and I love how you talk about them, and I love when you get emotional about it. I do. Well, I love a good love fest, and I echo everything Lauri just shared. And all season long, listeners, if you've been tuning in, we have talked to all sorts of different folks about advocacy. That's been our theme for season 3. So, Lauri, I want to hear your views on advocacy. How do you view advocacy in early childhood, and why does advocacy matter?
Yeah, I I've of course listened to all of our podcasts, and I love hearing from providers because advocacy, it really is pretty simple.
Mhm.
It's spreading the good news with everyone. It's helping everyday Nebraskans. That includes the parents, business leaders, and just the entire community about what our providers do every day, how they really are building the future, how they really do make a difference. And kind of back to what you said, Colleen, about sharing the research,
Mhm.
helping them understand that, yes, these children, playing is teaching, playing is learning, playing gives children the skills that they need to be successful, to help them be willing to take risks, to understand that what they're doing is something important. And so I love the testimonials from parents. I love the testimonials from providers and even from the children, to hear from them, what they're doing in their day. They feel important. They feel smart. They know that they're learning. And so advocacy is just really sharing what we do. We've made some strides with advocacy. We now have the tax credit that
Yeah.
is, available again for our early childhood uh, professionals. And so that comes from our leaders who make decisions, hearing that this is important work and that it matters, and that we need to keep these folks in the field and doing this good work every day. So we are making a difference with just sharing the information. So advocacy can look, sure, it can look like somebody going over to the Capitol and, participating in a hearing. It can look like a letter written to your representative, but it also is just sharing the good news with everyone about what you do. Sometimes I hear early childhood professionals say, well,
Mhm.
I just work in a preschool, or I just work in a child care center. And, advocacy is, I teach young children every single day so that they will be successful in school and in life. And, we need to be proud of that and share that. We know it in our heart. We just need to feel confident to say it. So, I think advocacy can be pretty simple. It can be all those other really important things, like, writing to your senator or going to the Capitol, and, testifying at a hearing, but it can also be those really simple things.
I really like how you put that it really is just spreading the good news of what we're already doing right and what we know to be true.
Mhm.
That's a good way to put it. And then, you shared an example of big impact items that happen, such as the tax credit.
Right,
And
absolutely.
that would not happen if we aren't voicing what's working, voicing what we need. You mentioned we need to keep folks in the field. Yes, yes, yes. We want to keep and retain our quality providers and educators and make them feel like they're advocates. Lauri, I could talk about the word just all day.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just an infant room teacher. I'm just an assistant. I'm just a floater. That one I hear a lot. I'm just a floater. You're never just anything when you work with young children. You're so important.
Those folks that are flexible to work in multiple classrooms are not just a floater. They are incredibly talented, and they know child development, and they know what is appropriate in each of those classrooms.
Yes.
So they are incredibly important to the success of a program. So yeah, we just need to exclude that word from our vocabulary when we're sharing what we do in this field.
I agree. I always like to tell people you're an investor. You are
Absolutely.
directly investing back into Nebraska and the world, really. Like
Right.
you're investing. I love how you have reiterated what we've kind of talked about all season of advocacy is not as scary as you may think. Do you have we already know that our providers already do so much to support our communities and invest back into our communities through caring for our kiddos. Do you have any advocacy tips or tricks you would like to share? That you said it can be simple. Do you have any little tips you want to share with our listeners?
As it relates to Step Up to Quality, we've got, all of our tools out there for providers to be able to share their success in Step Up to Quality. And those are really easy. Those are letters to parents that explain what they're doing. We have, a lot of things that are already created for them as it relates to Step Up to Quality. We've got our parent brochures so that parents really have a good understanding of all of the hard work that they're doing and how the curriculum that they're working with, how it builds those skills for children. I think that's a lot of it. It doesn't have to be something, like I said, going to the Capitol or, testifying. It really is just sharing those kinds of things. And those are some pretty good tips. We've got some press release kind of templates out there that once they've gone through Step Up to Quality that they can send to their local community. And those are just, I think, some small things that are already created for them.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest tip is be proud of what you do. You know that what you are doing matters, and just be proud and confident to be able to share what you do. So,
that's the best tip.
Yeah. I don't have a list necessarily of, tips. And I think, making it your own is what's most important, because when it comes from the heart to say, this is what I do and this is why it matters. That's it, right?
That's advocacy.
This is why it matters, right?
That's advocacy. Be proud of what you do and be able to share that. I also really appreciate you including those tips and tricks of the tools that are already ready for our providers. They're already there. The letters, the parent brochures, highlighting your curriculum and why we're using it. And here's what we're doing. I'm so thankful for Step Up to Quality. And I'm really thankful for you, Lauri Cimino. You are an amazing leader. And you've really done a lot to impact the lives of lots of providers, families, and children in Nebraska. So I just can't, I've got to gush on you right back.
I'm just really lucky that I get to work with such an amazing team. It's a small, dynamic team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just grateful that I get to work with the Step Up to Quality team and see them supporting the providers. It's very humbling.
Well, thank you, Lauri. This was just a quick episode to gush and provide some more ideas and really bring it home that advocacy is not as scary as we think. It's like what Lauri just said, be proud of what you do. And it's simple, spread the good news of what's working and what you're doing well. So thank you again, Lauri, for joining.
Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah, I love chatting with you. And I like that this is our last episode for season 3. It's a good way to end it.
Well, I appreciate all that you're doing for us too. And, it's wonderful to be able to connect with the providers that are continuing to grow Nebraska and make it the best place to raise a family and the best place for kids.
Yep, the best place for kids. I love that. And thank you, everyone, for gushing with us and spending quality time with us today. Please join again as we chat about future topics to support our Nebraskan providers on their journeys with Step Up to Quality. Until next time, bye-bye.